All right, go ahead.
Afternoon, Maria. This is Grandma here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life so when you get older, you can see what I went through.
Okay.
Oh, when I was young, me and my brother were so close. He was 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
We used to get in trouble together. But I also protected him from the guys that wanted to beat him up because he was a straight A student and everybody wanted him to do their homework for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I says, over my dead body. Nobody touches my brother but me.
Were you a bully?
I was a bully.
Where did you learn
I
to be a
had to
bully?
because the guys would tease me all the time. They wanted, I used to wear loose skirts. It says, Connie, you should wear tight skirts. So bought me a tight skirt and I didn't like that either. I didn't like showing my body to nobody.
Yeah.
So
What era was that? Like the 50s, 40s?
yeah, it was like because it was in the 50s.
It was in the 50s?
Yeah, because I graduated in 56. Can you imagine?
No, I can't
I graduated
imagine.
in 56.
Wow.
And in those days, I was escorted everywhere I went.
By who?
By my uncles, my cousins, my older people than me.
Yeah.
Because they didn't trust me to go by myself. They didn't want me to go by myself
Okay.
because I was special to my mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
because my older sister had a baby out of wedlock and they were so protective of me. They didn't want me to go through the same thing.
How many kids did great grandma?
My mom had 14 kids altogether. 10 of us lived.
Mm.
4 of them died at babies, childbirth. So that was kind of sad because she had beautiful baby girls. I don't remember because they were born before me. They had such pretty names like Paulina, Maria, something, Maria was in everybody's name. So that's a real popular name in the old days. Everybody
Yeah.
was Maria. So if you talk to one Maria, everybody would turn around and look at you like, which one are you talking to?
So that's why you guys named me Maria too?
Yes. Well, it was, no, you just happened to be born in that era. But I remember growing up, we didn't have indoor plumbing. So all the water, we had to take it out of a cistern with a bucket.
Mm.
So that was the first thing. Heat it up and we wanted to take a bath or something because who wants to take a bath in cold water?
So back then you didn't have indoor plumbing. Do you think we take indoor plumbing
We
for
didn't have
granted?
a TV. We used to go
Ooh.
watch TV at the neighbors.
Yeah.
And what did they watch? Wrestling and the news.
Oh, so you're caught up on
So
wrestling.
I was like, who wants to watch that? I'm not a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I never liked wrestling.
Do you think that these days the things we have like running water and toilets and showers?
I never in my life imagined it. When my brother
Mhm.
went to the service, it was in 1956, I think,
Mm-hmm.
58. He went to the service and when he came back, he bought us our first TV. We didn't even have a TV. Like I said, we used to go to the neighbors to watch TV and all they watched was the news. So who wanted to watch that? We had very few things to play with. So me and my brother, we would use, my dad used to make Adobe, so we'd sell them. We'd make like 1,000 Adobes every summer to buy our school clothes. We'd sell them.
What are Adobes, Grandma?
Mud with straw packed in a crate, a frame. And then when it's packed and it dries up, you take the frame out, stand them up so they could dry on the bottom part that was laying on the ground.
And what would you sell them for? What would people buy them for?
I don't remember, but we should sell them by the 1,000.
What?
1,000 Adobes. And Joe would make
People
for our
like
school clothes.
build houses?
Yeah,
People
all
do
the
for-
houses in Avondale are Adobe houses. There's very few brick houses. Most of them were made with Adobes.
So you guys are like the
And they
hometown
last forever.
contractors?
Adobes are warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
So you guys were like the hometown contractors?
Yes.
Building people selling Adobe?
Everybody made their Adobes, but we used to make them and sell them, me and Joe, to get school money.
Oh, wow.
That paid our bills, me and him. And we used to go work in the fields too. I was not a field person. They told me I didn't even earn my cupcake.
What's that mean?
Well, we used to take lunch and we used to go because mom would buy us cupcakes, to eat after our burritos. She used to make the best burritos. My mom always made homemade tortillas, and that was almost every day.
Mhm.
So we always had beans, potatoes, chili.
That was your diet back then?
Our diet every day. But with mom's tortillas, when she was making the first tortillas, we all fought for the first tortilla because we all like to butter it, right
Mhm.
off the stove.
Nice and hot warm.
That was
Yeah.
our treat.
Yeah.
In those
So-
days, we didn't have peanut butter in that,
So it was butter.
but we had jelly. We had jelly.
How was the diet different back then from like today?
We never hardly ever had sandwiches. Yeah, it was always
Mm-hmm.
mostly burritos. We didn't buy bread because my mom used to make tortillas every day.
So the food back then was more homemade?
Yeah, more homemade. Like the beans, she would cook her own beans, and then fry them. And sometimes we would just eat them with
What
that.
did you guys eat for a snack? Because you said cupcakes, but did they have cupcakes back then?
Yeah, but they were bought at the store,
Oh, okay.
And like we were like on low income,
Mm-hmm.
My mom used to get like some kind of stamps, and then we could buy our desserts and that. Me and Joe thought that it was nice to steal because we had this neighbor.
And Joe's your brother, right?
Yeah, Joe's
Joe's
my
your
brother. He's 2 years older. He was 2 years older than me.
okay.
I come from a family of 10. 10 of us were raised.
That were alive.
Lucy was
That
the
lived.
oldest one. She went to the army, and she had a baby. And that baby, the day that she was going to leave to the army, the baby died. So they had to
Sad.
cancel her entry to the army. So we had the funeral for the baby and everything. It was so sad because I loved that baby. He was like 3 months old. Most beautiful baby in the world. He had hazel eyes, light complected,
How'd he die?
black curly hair, child crib death,
Crib death.
pneumonia, 24-hour pneumonia.
So
And those days they had a lot of pneumonia going on, and a lot of babies would die from the pneumonia. And you don't even know they're sick because they don't cry or nothing,
So what's one big difference that you see, like, from back then to, like, today? Like, you're living life back then. You're 87, right? 87 years old.
Well,
So
we
you
never
had
had indoor plumbing, so all the water for our baths and our dishes and everything, we had to go get it, pull it up from the well. We still have water delivered to a hole in the wall my dad built. It was all cemented and everything. And I hated it when it was my turn to clean the bottom. When it was almost
the
empty,
bottom of the well.
the bottom of the well, we had to get in there. I said it was like a bottle inside the dirt.
Ooh,
Okay.
so how deep was that well?
It was like, I would say taller than me, like I would get.
And so what, the water would fill from the earth?
Oh, we order water and they bring it in a tank and pour it in there.
So it was like a cistern.
Like cistern. Yeah, cisterna. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's what we had.
And so you had to get in the cistern
I
and
had to
clean
get
it.
in there to clean it up.
What would you use to clean it?
Just rags, to gather all the water that was left in sand,
Because there'd be sand in there?
Yeah, that was sand because the water would come from North Avondale. And a long time ago, they thought that whoever used to buy water from North Avondale got cancer because, we used to have they used to have the yellow, what do you call it? The mustard thing that they used to burn.
Oh,
at
the yellow
depot.
mustard?
Yeah.
Okay.
They used to destroy it at the depot. And these wells were not too far from the depot, so we are wondering if a lot of people got cancer because of that.
Well, you guys didn't, right? Our family doesn't have no cancer or
No, you
anything.
can't see it,
Well, that's good.
But what else was I talking about?
You were talking about cleaning the cistern. Let's start there.
Yeah, cleaning the cistern. So
And you said there would be sand in there and stuff. And what was it like down there?
spooky.
How did you get down there?
With a ladder.
So Grandpa would stick
With a ladder. Spooky was a wells my dad would build. He would build a well pretty deep. But he was so smart, being from Mexico, he would frame it as he was going down so it wouldn't cave in on him.
So is that what he did for a living? Build wells for people?
No, he built wells for us to get water,
There's multiple wells?
Yeah. Well, he would build one and it would dry up. So then he'd go and build another one.
But you said that the
We get
wells.
the water from the cistern would have regular water. But when he got well water to water the plants and the fields that we had.
Okay, so you did have a well
So
too.
we had wells and he would build them, and frame them so they would collapse on him. So he would go pretty deep.
How did he learn how to do that?
I don't know. Being from Mexico, he probably learned this when he was young. Because my dad came from Mexico when he was 16.
By
But
himself?
he said he was 6 years old. He used to have to go take care of the sheep and the cattle out in the fields. And sometimes he didn't even come home for 2 or 3 days, out there. So he would have
Really?
to pack a lunch to take with him and sleep with the cattle or whatever he was taking care of,
And that was back in Mexico?
Yeah, I was back in Mexico.
Oh my goodness.
When they came to the United States, they all came over illegally.
Who you said when they? Are you talking just
It
Grandpa
was
and his
my
family?
aunts. I had 4 aunts.
On Grandpa's side or Grandma and Grandpa's side?
No, these are all on my dad's side.
Okay.
That came from Mexico. My mom was born and raised in La Habana. Her parents came when they were younger from Mexico, but she don't even remember that,
Okay.
So he met my mom in La Habana. That's where they came to work. La Habana had the railroad. That's
Okay.
where a lot of people would work at the railroad. But my dad came when he was like 16 from Mexico, and he brought one of my uncles had been given the money by my grandpa Porfirio, which is my dad's dad, to go bring us across the border. That was my grandma Melissa, which was his mom, and my aunts. Well, my uncle that went for them, his wife was one of the ones that was coming with their sisters. He spent the money serenading the women in El Paso and Juarez. So he blew the money. So that's why he had to cross them all illegally in a boat. Yeah. So it was my Aunt Modesta, my Aunt Alvina, my Aunt Betty, my Aunt Severa, they all came with my dad across illegally. It's my great aunts.
But he blew the money. So then what did crossing the border legally look like? And you said in a boat, but
wherever you could. They had
So
these
they had,
guys that would rent these boats and they bring you across, but you had to pay them.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how they paid them because my uncle had spent all the money. And my
And so
grandpa
that's
said,
how Grandpa Solano came over.
yeah, that's how they came over illegally because when they went for them, spent all the money on women,
Oh.
serenading the women and Juarez.
So what was Grandpa Solano, your dad? What was his trade by nature?
I don't even know
Or
because he said he used to hop the trains and work in different cities.
oh, wow.
Sometimes they would just work in the railroad, because my grandpa, my mom's dad, was already retired. They made him retire from working in the railroad. He did not want to retire. I was 60, over 65.
Wow.
When they made him retire, he got killed by a car crossing the street
Oh, it's awful.
because he loved his work. He didn't want to
Who
retire.
made him retire?
Everybody,
Jeez, what a
and
he shouldn't have listened to nobody,
the
huh?
company made him retire because he didn't want to retire. But
Man,
when he retired, he only lasted like 3 months, and then he got run over by a car and
jeez.
died.
The life that you're describing now is so different from like what my kids or like your kids or like what we would even experience in this day and age. It's so different. So
Yes.
it's almost like you're explaining something to me that seems, I don't want to say ancient, but seems so far fetched almost.
I love going to Lahaina. Every summer, they send me to Lahaina to stay with my Aunt Cepeda, which was Victoria's mom that raised her. There was my sister, but she was raised by my aunt and uncle because they could never have kids. And my mom did not like the fact that they gave one of her kids away, but she had no control because all my aunts control my dad and her,
Mm-hmm.
and they made the decision that we should give one daughter to my aunt that couldn't have kids. I mean, Victoria had everything, but I think deep down she didn't like that
So
was not
let's
raised with
explain.
us.
So Victoria is the daughter that was given away. And do you know what number that was? Because you said grandma had
There was
14.
three girls that died
So was she
before.
number
She was
7, number
No,
8?
she was like the ones living. She was like the second one because Lupi was the oldest, and then her.
So she was the second daughter?
Yeah,
They
the
gave
ones
us
that survived. Okay.
okay. So what number though, like in birth, was Victoria?
Well, it was Lupi was 2 years older than Victoria. Victoria was 2 years older than Joe. Joe was 2 years older than me. And then after me came Leo, John, Helen, Barbara, and Bobby.
So
After me came 5.
so Victoria was like one of the older ones
Yes, yes,
that was given away. So was
yes.
she like number 5 born,
Probably
number
so.
6 born,
Probably number 5.
something like that?
Yeah, because my mom and them, they used to, the babies used to die from crib death in those days, or pneumonia, get like a cold pneumonia, and they would die. But yeah, we would have had at least 3 more sisters living with us if they would have lived.
Oh, so La Junta. So now we're in La Junta, and you said you would go there in the summers. Like, what age were you when you would go over there?
I started going when I was like 8.
Mm-hmm.
They put me in the bus and the train in North Avondale, and the train would stop me right in front of my aunt's house, you know,
At 8 years old?
at 8 years old.
And you just walked on there?
Yes,
And
and
did anybody
they
pay?
would help me get off the train and watch me cross the tracks because there was other trains going by, and everything.
Oh my goodness.
Me and Joe lived through that a long time. We go to Lahaina and we had to fight our way from the trains. And we used to love playing on the trains where they would go like, tuk, 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 they would go a little bit and come back. We played on the railroad with that.
Like on the tires
Yeah,
or what?
we would get on the
Oh
rail,
gosh, you playing
on
the
the rails that
tires?
connected like this. We
Yeah.
would get on those rails and those things like connected. We'd stand on the thing, and it was fun. That was
Well,
our
how would you know if it was getting ready to go for real?
Well, we know that those trains come in slow, and then they go all the way to where the station is.
So you just trusted
Yeah,
that?
we just trusted that. Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. And then we would get off. When they take us to where the stopping place was,
Yeah.
we get off, and then you could walk downtown Lahaina.
It was probably much safer, you think, as an
I
8
used to
and
love what they used to have Settlers Day. They used to have a Settlers Day in Lahaina. Everybody in town went to Settlers Day because they get free food, free movies, free everything.
Mhm.
So we would spend the whole day there with my grandma, and we had to walk from the new edition, but we had to go down an embankment and up the other side of the embankment in order to go downtown Lahaina.
Hmm.
And we used to do that.
So from 8 to what age you think you would go to
The
Lahaina?
last time my mom let me go to Lahaina was when I was 13
So from 8 to 13?
because I started going to the dances, and she didn't like the fact that
Oh, in Lahaina.
that I was going to it was called the Airplane Inn. It's no longer there. It was called the Airplane Inn. It was a nice hall. That's where I met your grandpa.
So you met Grandpa in
In
Lahaina.
Lahaina.
Oh,
Yeah, at one of
wow.
those dances. All the guys from Avondale would go to Lahaina to the dances.
Oh, so the guys from Avondale would go to Lahaina.
Yes.
So was Grandpa from Lahaina? No, he was from Avondale.
He lived in North Avondale, your grandpa, when his family first came from Santa
How
Fe.
far away is Lahaina from Avondale?
I would say it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. So they would
Yeah.
drive an hour and a half to go to these dances?
Yes.
Wow.
It
It's
was
a
called the
far
Airplane
drive
Inn, and
back
it was
then.
fun.
Yeah?
I remember they'd bring big bands, and everything.
Okay.
And I used to dance. That's where I started dancing. And Victoria didn't like it because her boyfriend started liking me,
Oh, god.
you know, and they would take me out to dance. That would make her so mad.
Well, she didn't like to
She wanted to
dance?
be the queen bee. She had everything. She had her own car. She had money. Me and Joe didn't have money. She would charge me and Joe a quarter to get on her car.
How old are you again?
About 13.
Oh, you're 13?
Yeah.
Now, how old are you today?
87.
You're 87 and you're remembering all this,
Oh,
like, you
yes.
talk about this like it was just yesterday that all this
Yes, I
happened.
remember my childhood so much. I remember us having to take a bath or shower in a barrel full of water, rainwater.
Rainwater?
Rainwater.
So
Me and
no
Joe
bubbles?
No bubbles. Me and Joe, if you get in one barrel and I get in the other one, that would be our shower thing.
Oh my
And the water was
gosh.
so warm because there'd be out the sun. The water was so warm.
And everybody had to take a bath in that same water?
Well, me and Joe did. The other ones, little ones, they had an indoor tub. It was a tub. Where you feed the horses?
Yeah.
Those oblong tubs. That's what we had. And we would have to heat water on the stove if you wanted a warm bath. Who wants a cold bath? Nobody. And that was really funny. Okay. We would put chairs around the tub, to kind of give us privacy. Simon said he came in one time and he saw me in that tub. I'll never forget that. And I said, "What?" He says, "I didn't say nothing, but you."
Okay.
Your grandpa Simon was the best.
Yeah.
I was married to the best man.
So you said you met him in La Junta at the dance.
Yes.
And did you see him for the
And
first
his
time,
friend
or he saw
Ernie was
you?
with him. His friend Ernie, he fell asleep. He lost out, so his friend came and took me out to dance. He did not bring me back till intermission because the hall was so full. You couldn't even walk back to where you were at.
So his friend Ernie was
Ernie Morris.
trying to date you first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I said, you snooze, you lose. I said, next time you better stay close to me because guys want to dance with me.
You had a feisty personality back then, huh?
Everybody wanted to dance with me. I was a good dancer. I could do the jitterbug. Me and Joe used to do the jitterbugs. Joe took lessons. I didn't need no lessons. We used to do the jitterbug.
So you had dancing in your spirit already.
Oh, yes. I love dancing. And the guys all wanted to dance with me. And my uncle used to take me. And I didn't know my uncle was doing marijuana. Because when he take me, he was normal. An hour later, I go see him. I says, "Uncle, are you okay?" I didn't know what he was doing. He thought that's how dumb I was. I didn't know nothing about marijuana or nothing. And he said, "Yes, I'm okay." He would talk a little English. No, he was not doing okay. So one time we were going out to the farm, and my uncle was taking me out to the farm because my Aunt Betty and him lived on the farm, and my grandma, Melissa. Okay, he passed the exit to his house. I was wondering, "What? Uncle, you passed the exit to your house." He says, "Just a minute." So he backed up. Well, when he was backing up, guess who was coming on the road?
The
A
cop.
So he stopped us. And I had to tell him. And then my damn uncle, I told him, "Don't speak English because I'm going to tell him that you don't know English." Says, "Yes, we drive him." Oh, the guy says, "You don't need, he don't need an interpreter. He can interpret himself."
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I remember everything.
Well, that's good.
And you know what? It's because I never had bad habits. I was like the perfect person in Avondale. All the old people loved me because I respected all the old people. If somebody was taking groceries home, we'd always help them take their groceries. It was me or Joe. And all the older people loved us.
So let me ask you this. Did grandma make you guys go to church? Did you guys have to go to church?
She went to church every Sunday. And if it was holy night, she would go on holidays.
But what about you guys? Did she make
She'd
you
make
guys
us go with us sometimes, and after she just gave up. But she used to
Gave
have
up?
these little lacy scarves that she would wear, either a white one or a black one. She always had her head covered when she went to church. Out of respect to our beaten. I didn't know that. She told me, "You should do that out of respect for our Virgin Mary."
So you met grandpa at the dance. How long did you and grandpa date?
Well, he went to the army.
Mhm.
I was young, still in high school and that. So he went to the army, and he didn't think I was going to wait for him. He said, "Are you going to wait for me?" I says, "I don't know. I'm still young, and I'm not going to. I'm going to stay home." And then my mom wrote him when he went to the army. They sent him to Alaska, mind you, for 2 years. So how was it? He wanted me to go to Alaska and marry him. I said, "I'm not going to go get married. What if I don't like you anymore?"
Oh, that's so sad.
I didn't want to get married with somebody I didn't.
So what happened?
I waited till he got back.
So you did wait for him, even though you're being stubborn.
Yeah, but I said, "I'm not staying home. I'm going to the dances. I'm not doing anything bad. I'll just go because I love to dance." Because my mom tried to send him a letter telling him that they couldn't keep me home, that I was going to the dances and everything. They loved it, my mom and
Oh,
dad.
wow.
Because when he was home, he would always take him shopping. Would I stay home and clean house, mind you?
Well, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. Oh, my mom loved him a lot.
So how long did you and grandpa date or court? He court you before you guys got married?
God, I tell you, we went to the army for 2 years. I waited for 2 years.
So it was about 2 years, so when he came back, he just proposed?
Well, he knew no, he wanted to get married. He wanted me to go to Alaska to marry him. I said, "No, I'm not going to Alaska."
So did he, like, formally propose to you and ask you? Do you remember that?
His mom and my mom took me shopping for my wedding outfit.
But what about being engaged? Do you remember being engaged? You remember grandpa, like, proposing to you?
Yeah, I had an engagement ring since he went to the army,
Okay, so he gave you
yeah,
one before.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think I wore it, you know? I don't think I wore it 'cause I
Mm.
didn't want the guys to be asking me questions, you know? So
At least
anyway,
you're being
yes,
honest.
but I didn't date nobody, I just go to the
So
dances.
you were honest even though you
Yeah,
weren't honest
yeah.
because you honestly didn't wear the ring.
I didn't wear the ring, but I was what you call a good girl.
Stubborn,
Ye
feisty good girl?
Yes. I didn't have no sex until I got married,
Yeah?
and even then I cheated on your I would tell your dad, "No, gosh, grandma." He thought, well, I was brought up very strict because my sister had that baby when she was 18 years old. They paid up with me. I took all the beating for her,
Because
and
of
I
her
felt sorry
mistakes.
for her because Joe was mean to her.
Your collar, fix your collar
Joe was mean to her.
on your sweater. There you go.
Joe was mean to her. He'd punch her and push her around and says, "Leave her alone."
Why would he do
I
that?
would get because she was pregnant.
He would do that while she was
Yes,
pregnant? Why?
because he was ashamed that she got pregnant.
Oh, that's so
I
sad.
know, so I would get a broom and hit Joe with the broom. Joe, get
Well, at
him
least
with
you were a good
Loopy.
defender of your
Oh
sister.
yeah, I love Loopy a lot. She was kind of mean to me growing
Yeah.
up, but I loved her a lot. I respected my own elders all my life.
Mhm.
Everybody in Avondale, they all liked me. I would go to the store for some of the old people. They needed to go to the store. I would go get their stuff, and they
Mhm.
trusted me.
So now let's fast forward because now you're married and you're with grandpa, and now you guys have 5 kids, right? And what's married life like back then versus, like, what you see married life to people now?
I think we were stricter with our kids.
Were you?
Like Cece.
Do you think parents are lenient these days?
I think so.
Yeah?
They give their kids too much freedom. Like, we would never let our kids go spend the night at their boyfriend's house. No, that was a no-no for us.
Yeah.
You know, and if the guys came over, they could visit with the girls, but they had to leave at a certain time. We didn't accept that. Cece was the oldest one, and she's the one that moved out of the house when she was 20. She wanted to be her own boss and everything, which I didn't blame her. And she had this little tiny house. It was like a one-bedroom house like this, just for her bed, the little kitchen there, and
Mhm.
that's what she lived. Her and Keith lived in that for years, but they saved to buy and make their house.
That's good.
They
Yeah, they
paid for
built
their
their
house.
own house, right?
90,000 he thought they paid for their house to be
To
built
build.
and everything.
That's a nice house.
I know.
A nice
Keith,
house.
kinda had his guys come and help build it.
So which one of your kids was the best, the good, we'll say the good one, and which one was your crazy wild one?
The one that always did crazy thing was your mom
My mom?
and Angie. Angie, to this day, he thought she was mean to me. My thing that says, "Ask Antonella where we're going," 'cause I just go with the flow. That's the truth. I just go where they take me. She's all, "Forget it." So there go that. You
So
always have one person that doesn't. And for one thing, she would run away from home, you know, and Cece would be looking for her. One time they went to look for her all the way to Alamosa, because that's where Alfred was
Mhm.
from, to look for her. And I was in New Mexico. So me and Simon had to cut our vacation short to come from New Mexico back to see where in the hell Angie was. And we went to this restaurant in Alamosa because Simon said, "Let's go to Alamosa," because that's probably where she went. But where Alfred lived, I swear I heard her laughing in the kitchen in this one restaurant we went to. I told Simon that laugh sounds like Andrew. And he didn't want to go back there. I told him, "Go back there and look." He didn't want to go back there and look. So, but
Oh.
she's making fun of us. I said, "So
Oh,
forget it. Let's
man.
go home. I don't care about if she comes over or not."
Oh, that's sad.
Yes, Angie was always different.
So which one do you say was the wisest?
You see,
Was it Cece?
she planned her life. She saved for. Remember that old raggedy car she used to drive? You probably don't remember. She had this old car. "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?" She says, "'Cause as long as it runs, I'm not up to keep up with the Joneses." She said, "As long as my car runs, I'm going to keep it. It's all paid for and everything."
The duster.
And it still worked, he thought, when she sold it. It was still running and everything.
What was one of the most hardest times in your life?
See, I'm trying to think. Because, I was kind of born at the end of the 40s. Remember that depression
Mhm.
during the 40s? Everything was like sold with stamps. I remember we had to use such stamps like to buy sugar, salt, and things like that. I was born during that era, you know?
Was that one of the hardest times for you?
It was kind of because, everything was limited. You know, as it was, we were limited money wise. We used to get welfare at one time
Mhm.
because my dad, couldn't work.
Mm.
He lost his leg. He lost his leg when he was 38 years old. A car ran by and dragged him.
Well,
They were
that's
pushing
sad.
a car, and this car passed by and took him, ran over his both legs. He lost one, but the other one had bones sticking all over.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
And he thought my dad used to work in the fields on his butt. Yeah.
Wow, he never gave up. That's
He never
inspiring.
gave up. He was always doing that no matter what. He would go do work for people and they would pay him with a pig or the chicken or something. We always
He
had,
did that with no legs?
yeah, yeah,
So what would he do with no legs besides work in the field?
mostly that. He would go work in the fields. Yeah, he could scoot himself pretty good. He learned how to do that. Also, he had crutches when it was like working in the corn. He could still do it.
How hard was it when he was in the hospital? I'm sure he had been in the hospital for like 6 weeks or
Yes, I was in the hospital every day
so
with him.
how did Grandma Cece, like, make ends meet
You
when
know,
grandpa was in the hospital?
well, we got a lot of welfare help,
Oh, okay.
and we had welfare help. I forgot what they used to call it in those days, but I remember my mom had to learn how to drive because she didn't even know how to drive when my dad got hurt.
Oh, really?
And they had like a Model T, like an
Mhm.
old Model T.
I don't know what that is.
Well, Model T is like a square little car. They were
Is it a
black.
Ford? Is
They
it
were,
a
and they had they
Chevy
had the gear
stick?
on the floor. The gear would
Okay.
come into the floor. You go da 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 da. Yeah,
Okay.
first, second, third. Yeah, I
Oh,
had to
wow.
learn to drive that car too, and I had no problem with it. I learned it.
Mhm.
Some of the boys are having trouble driving that car, but I didn't.
No.
I love driving stick shift.
Were you, one of the strong ones in the
Well,
house?
I learned driving a car when I was young because I used to take my Aunt Betty to her doctor appointments every week. And she had like an old 40 something Chevy. And I had to learn how to drive that car so I could take her. Sometimes at the first and second would be like this, because I didn't
Mhm.
know how to do my feet work till I got it. But once I got to third, I was good. So I was able to drive her to the doctor and everything.
So were you one of the strong ones in the house? What made you strong?
What made me strong was that, I don't know, like I said, I was a good girl growing up. I didn't have no bad habits. All the other girls were getting drunk and doing all this, not me.
That can make you strong, but it sounds like you were just strong because you had to help grandma, you had to help grandpa, you took care of some of your siblings. So where did you get the
My
will?
dad loved me so much, he thought, because I took care of my dad so much. He needed more help. And my mom would make him sometimes go outside and sleep on the ground outside because he was drunk, and she didn't want a drunk person. Because my dad was not a nice drunk. He was
Mhm.
a hateful drunk. He'd come home and if there was a kerosene lamp. We used to have kerosene lamps. He'd come and drop all that on the floor, scoot the table off and everything would go on the floor. He were picking up a kerosene lamp.
Jiminy crickets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but
So you were the strong one of this who else was strong? Which other one of your brothers was strong?
let me see. Me and Joe were pretty. Joe, my brother, when he went to the service, he really helped us out. He came and put in plumbing for my mom. He came and bought us a TV because we didn't have a TV.
I wonder what plumbing back then cost to put plumbing in a house.
I don't know, but it was ugly plumbing. You could see the pipes. The little pipes going. They put them across the edge of the room.
Oh, so you can actually see the pipes when they put them in the house. Like they had to put them on the edge of the floors, like on
Well,
the
all this came after these houses were built, and they
oh,
were
so they
adobes.
yeah.
And you know how hard it is to get to an adobe that's been sitting there for a long time?
Mm.
Adobes get like a rock. They get like a rock. And then so my dad started using center blocks to make the rest of the house. Center
Oh,
block.
okay.
The basement, he made it out of center blocks. He thought, who wants to sleep in that basement when the window was like this
Oh,
big?
that basement creeped me out. It was like a
It freaked
cave.
me out because I say, oh my God, if something happened down here, my dad would burn
Yeah, it
because
is.
nobody could get out of that basement.
Mm-mm.
I hated that basement. And besides, first when you used to go in the door, they didn't have a wall there. So my uncle fell down those basement steps just thinking he was drunk. He didn't see that there was no wall there holding nothing. I said, Dad, somebody's going to get killed if you don't put a gate here to keep him from falling into the basement.
Yeah.
So he did that. But yeah, two people fell down.
Oh, I bet you they hurt themselves too because
Oh,
those that mem
good thing
I
they were
remember that
drunk. Good thing
basement
my uncle was drunk.
that basement was, very creepy. It was
Yeah,
like literally looked like a cave and
I
it's
hated it.
creepy.
Just think my dad lived there, slept there all the time. I hated going down there. The only thing I liked was under the stairways. We had like under the stairways, some house. I don't even remember which house because we had Angie's playhouse under the stairway. We made her like little kitchenette and everything. She loved it. She had her own playhouse and everything.
That's your daughter, Andrew?
She wrote me a letter, and I found it this morning.
Your daughter. We're
Mhm.
talking about your daughter?
Yeah,
Okay.
told me that she had had the best childhood any kid could have. because we gave her everything. She never needed anything. She says she had her best toy house. She had good cars. 'Cause we bought her like 2 lowrider cars when she was with us, you know. In fact, Simon paid off her last car, 4,500 when he retired.
Wow.
He paid off a car so she would have a balance on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
She
really
don't
good.
remember all the nice things we did for her.
Yeah.
And she treats me like shit, you know? Yeah. That's what you get back when you're good to your kids. They treat you like shit.
Girl, that's not good advice to give.
You know?
Gosh.
And now I could tell you, the grandkids that I really love and I care for are Angelo and Gordo because they don't have a normal
So
life.
you have favorites?
Well, I don't have favorites.
Oh, you're admitting this in front of everybody. You're
I
like,
don't care. He thought your kids have you. They have Renee. They have Juan. Those boys didn't have nobody, you know, because their mom. I I don't want to say anything bad.
yeah,
you
no,
know.
because this is going to go to like millions of people. So that's why you got to watch what
I
you
mean,
say.
she works so hard. She can't spend a lot of time with them, you know, and
Yeah.
the boys would kind of lip with me sometimes, and I would go take them food every day when they were younger because they'd tell me, "Grandma, we're hungry, and my mom hasn't come home yet or nothing." So I would go take them food.
Well, I can say in defense, it's definitely hard being a single mom raising men. That right there, men need other men to lead them and to teach them to be men. God never designed us to teach men how to be men.
Yeah.
Just like we nurture little girls to cook, clean, be the supportive role. You can be a strong, successful woman as well, but men need other men to teach them how to be men.
That's why I tell Antonelle not to be so hard on the boys. That says they have never had a man figure with them,
Hmm.
and they've done the best they can raising up as young men. But I feel like I have to help them more because they need me. They'll call me if they're having
Yeah.
problems on their Bible.
You seem like all your life you've been there for a lot of people.
I
Like
have.
there's something in your soul or something about your aura that you have to help. Like you're always giving and helping. Where does that come from? Do you know where that come from?
For
Do
me,
you know? Like,
no.
is there something that happened to
I
you?
think
Do
I
you
think
think?
no, I think like I'm a Gemini, and I always use that as is this am I always so generous? Because I cannot see somebody hurting. If I know if somebody's hurting or needing something, I want to help them, you know. I'm not happy till I help that person in some way. And that's been me all my life. Your grandpa used to tell me, why are you always worried about everybody else? I was like, 'cause that's the way I am. I'm not going to change for nobody.
Mm.
He would see me like I would give this kid a right to practice all the time. And your grandfather says, oh, do you have a crush on that kid? Or you're picking him up every night? I said, we need a man dancer. And if I don't go get him, he's not going to come because he don't have a vehicle. He don't have
Mm.
transportation. So I said, I don't mind going to get him.
A man dancer. You have a dance group.
Yes.
So let's talk about the dance group because
God, I can't even remember when I started. I started in 94. I think it was in 94.
why did you start a dance group?
Because I used to see other kids dance, like at the churches and that.
Hmm.
My kids wanted to dance, and go dance with them, you had to make clothes that match their clothes. And some of the clothes were awful, So I told the kids, hey, we know how to dance. We know this. Let's just start our own dance group. Because they kind of would give us the dirty parts, like having us do the dance nobody else wanted to do or something. And I said, oh, no, we know how to dance and everything. Let's just start our own dance group.
Hmm.
The only one that wasn't interested was Mona and Cece, but Angie liked dancing. So did Antonelle, my grandkids,
Hmm.
Messina and Rachel danced with us
Hmm.
in the old days.
Antonelle danced. I
Antonelle.
danced.
Hmm.
Who else? Little Simon
Remember,
danced.
you danced as you were too?
I danced since I was
You're
2. So let's go back to the dance group. Focus on the dance group, okay? So you started the dance group because you wanted your grandkids to dance, right? And from there, you started making their clothes.
Well, we started actually with Ron Cintas. Ron Cintas he came into town. He had been dancing throughout Europe and that because he was in the service. So he had his own dancing.
Hmm.
Him and his wife used to dance when he had the wife. And they used to dance together and teach other just people in the military. So when he came to Springs and he saw we had a dance group, he wanted to join us. So he was either going to join Lenore or Ness. I says, you want to join us because you need us better, and
Yeah.
we're bossy and all that and everything. So he joined our dance group and he taught all of us to dance. And him and Gloria would dance all the time together,
Yeah, I remember that. And then his daughter now, I think Valerie, went on.
She dances with Guadalajara.
Gosh, she
dance group in
I'll say
Guadalajara.
she went and lived everybody's dream.
Yeah.
She went and I would say she went and lived part of my dream.
Yeah.
To go live in Mexico, the
Says,
language,
if it wasn't for us,
and then go dance.
she always tells me on Facebook, if it wasn't for you, wouldn't be in this profession. So I owe it all to you.
Wow. What an
I have,
honor, right?
I have people telling me that all the time. If it wasn't for me, like if they were not good dancers, I says, just dance. Nobody's going to notice you. Just
Yeah.
get out there and move. Nobody's going to notice if you're
Mhm.
doing the right step or not. And I never discourage anybody not to dance
Oh, no, of course not.
because dancing is my life. It's been my life, you know?
Yeah?
And look at all the people I've had on my dance group. Bunch of students.
How many if you just a number off the top of your head, how many do you
Oh
think
my gosh.
what number comes to your head?
I would say like 400.
400, 400
Yes.
people lives that you've touched, that you've inspired.
I shopping sometimes and somebody will come up to says, aren't you the dance lady? I says, no, I didn't dance, but I had a dance group and I still do. You still do that? I says, yes. And I'll tell them, bring your kids. If you have kids, bring them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do.
Yeah.
They bring their kids. Just some of the girls that danced with us this weekend, they hadn't danced with us for a long time. They asked me if they could come and dance. I said, yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not, right?
Come and dress up. They wanted to dress up. I said, yeah, you could come and dress up.
What's one thing you could take away from dancing? Like, what's one thing it's taught you?
Well, dancing makes everybody happy. The music, the mariachi music, the folklorico music. If you look at what I used to look what gave me a lot of love for my dancers was that you would see their parents come to see them dance and you could see their smile and how happy they were
Mm,
to see their kids dance. And that really got to me. I said,
yeah.
if nothing else, I'm making some parents happy
Yeah, for
by
sure.
letting their kids dance, and the clothes, yeah, I loan them out because I know how hard it is for me to go buy clothes and then the kids don't want to dance.
Do you charge for the clothes?
No.
Do you
I lo-
charge for people to
We
come and join
we
your dance group?
charge $10 a month.
Gosh, that's nothing.
That's nothing. We used
You
to charge.
you can't even participate in a sport for that
That's
these
all
days.
we charge is $10 a
Even
month.
back in the days when my
And
kids
loan
were in
them the
sports.
clothes and sometimes go get them for performances and
You
that,
can't even put a price on
Remember
that.
when I had that band?
Mhm.
I had that band. I would go pick up all the dancers, but I would have all their clothes ready in the band for them to dance. We even put a special bracket
That is
on
a
the back.
lot of work.
I
Where did
know.
you find the time and energy?
I don't know. I just love what I
Literally.
do.
You just had a passion for it?
Yeah, I just had a passion. I love sewing. I love when I see the kids wearing stuff that I make. That's
Mhm.
why I want people to wear the dresses I make because it makes me feel happy.
Oh, you have a passion for sewing, don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
Where'd you get that? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I used to see my mom sew when we were little. She used to make us little outfits.
Mhm.
Uh, she had the sewing machine that you roll it with your hand.
Okay.
Yes, poor thing. It was hard for her. I remember her Lupe needing a skirt for something at school. She made her a patch skirt, because we didn't have money to go
Yeah.
out and buy material.
Yeah.
So all these little patches that she found, she'd made it. That was the best skirt Lupe ever had. Little squares,
Yeah.
3 rows. One row, a little squares. The second row, a little squares. The third row, a little squares. I'll never forget that.
Aw,
My mom
that's
making that,
touching.
and that made me want to sew. You know, and my mom would make us little blouses, really straight and that, but she would make us little blouses because I'd make clothes. I never use a pattern. I just kind of imagine.
Yeah.
And
Had to
they
start
work.
somewhere, yeah.
I'll measure the length
Mm.
of the little girls or whatever, so I can make your skirts the right size. And I'm always fixing up other people's clothes. They're not even mine because they don't know how to fix them. I'll take them and fix them and make them work.
How many dance dresses do you think you've made throughout the
Oh
years?
my gosh.
How many? Just give me a number off the top of your
Let
head.
me tell you, one night, I timed myself putting 5 rows of ribbon on a ruffle.
Oof, that sounds like a lot of
It
work.
took me 15 hours.
15 hours.
hours to put
And that's
5
one
rows-
dress.
One dress.
And how many dresses do you think you've made out of the years? Because that's going to give us a
Hundreds.
good
Hundreds.
hundreds
Yes.
times 15 hours
Yeah.
a row
Yeah.
times 100 dresses.
Yes.
Man, you've put a lot of hours into
I
that.
I would work after work. If I was not sleepy, I'd come home and I sew till I got sleepy. I'd sew after work. Nice to work graveyard. Sometimes I go home in the morning, I'd have my coffee and breakfast. And if I was awake, I'd do some sewing till I got sleepy. I used to sleep very little, when I was working.
Did you ever suffer from like insomnia, or was it just you
It's
said
just
you
me.
slept very little?
It was just me, I don't know where I got the energy, but I wasn't happy unless I was sewing. I love to sew.
Oh, so you're saying that you would lose sleep just so you could sew because you
Yes.
wanted to sew so
Yeah,
bad
well, there were things I wanted to finish, and I could not go to sleep knowing that I had that to finish.
until you
Yeah.
finished it.
And my one-track mind was, I got to finish this.
Now I know where I get it.
Yeah.
Because there's things sometimes where I'm like, I just can't walk away until I finish it. And then I
gets mad at me. If
obsess about it until I finish it.
I have something I want to do, I need to do that. I'm
Mhm.
not happy till I get it done. Like I'll be going somewhere and it's in my mind. Remember, you have all this stuff you want to put away. And right now, I'm working at that.
You have a very good, sharp mind for
Oh
87.
yeah, because I've been had a good life. I've been happy all my life. The years that I was sad was when I lost my mom and
Mhm.
lost my dad. That was sad. When we lost that baby, that kind of really hurt me a lot. And
What
I was
baby?
very young then.
The baby Aunt Loopy?
Loopy had.
Mhm,
I love that baby. I mean, I would hold that baby, as much as I could. He
mhm,
was such a handsome baby. And no, my dad did not like the dad of the baby. But to me, he was nice, so I always talked to him.
mhm.
You know, but my dad almost killed him. He had a gun. He wanted to go shoot him because Lupe was working as a depot, and she had a man's job, mind you. She would
Mhm.
work like a man, had dress up like a man. He would go pick up Lupe at the depot, and they'd take her to North Avondale, where they lived in the farm. My dad would make us drive him over there so he could go get her. He thought, you don't know what. There's a lot of things that I did in my life. I don't know how I survived.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to survive. I would go get my dad from the Chuck's place. All the men would be like in a circle passing the wine bottle around. And I said, Dad, we need to go home because mom is really mad. I mean, if Joe went after him, Joe would cuss at him and everything. But I would go and we would take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back in order to get home
God,
because he was so drunk and he
that
still
sounds
had
like a
breakfast.
long walk home.
Yes. And I would put up with that.
Maybe patient. Let's go back to talk about where you said you've lived a long life. You're 87, and I think a lot of people are inspired by that because
A lot of people.
you don't see a lot of people living to 87 being healthy. You said you don't have no health problems.
I've never been in the
You're
hospital.
pretty cognitive. I would say you're pretty feisty and cognitive,
Yes.
so you're all
Yes.
there.
Yes.
What's the secret?
Secret
Give
for her
everybody
is
the secret.
don't do drugs, don't drink a lot. That's something I never did in my whole life. I never did drugs. I'll tell you the truth. One time somebody gave me a puff and that was enough for me. It says, you could keep this shit.
Puff of what?
A puff of marijuana cigarette. It was my
Okay.
cousin. My cousin Sarah was like my kissing cousin. I miss Sarah so much.
Yeah.
We're like really close. I would do the drive. He taught me how to drive because he got so drunk. I'm not going to let you drive drunk.
Yeah.
So he taught me what to do. And we got us home. I had to drive because I was going to let him drive.
Do you attribute your diet to it or no? Do you think it's your diet?
No,
No?
because I'm very picky eater. You know me.
What do you eat during the day?
I don't like onion at all.
Okay. But what do you eat? What's your diet?
Well,
Be honest.
Now, let me tell you what I eat now.
Because I don't think your diet definitely attributed to it. It must be mental.
No, my diet now, I like to get 2 slices of bread, put mayonnaise with avocado on it. Mayonnaise with avocado on it. Then put my lunch meat and my cheese in it. Oh my God, it's so good.
That's your diet.
That's what I eat now. In the old days,
And
I
that's
used to
keeping
eat,
you living a long life.
I used to like to make a lot
Oh
of
my gosh, you
chorizo.
guys hear that?
I used to like to make a lot of chorizo with beef
Yeah.
and make tacos.
I think, and this is just my opinion, you can take it as a grain of salt, but I think it's because you've lived a long life with there was no processed food in your diet growing up. And so you lived all the way until maybe this last decade where all this junk started coming into our food. And I think that's probably attributed a lot to
I know that
keeping you
a
alive.
lot of friends that I've had, they had surgeries. They've had to be in the hospital because of this and that. I have never been in the hospital.
Just your gallbladder surgery,
Well,
right?
just my gallbladder and having kids.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing. I never really been
Do you
cut
think
open because they sucked it out.
do you think it's also your perspective in life? Do you think it's just the way you think, like
I
your
think
thoughts?
it's living a good life. And yeah, I do have my worry days, like I worry now for my grandkids, that they're safe and everything.
Mhm.
But your grandpa Simon was like the best husband, Hita.
Mhm.
I could leave him home. He would not move. He could drink. Yeah, he'd drink wine at home, but he didn't go nowhere. And he was not a loud person. He would just sit there quietly drinking his wine. I didn't even know if he had drank a lot or not.
Mhm.
Maybe it was my fault because I used to leave him home all the time and I used to go do my thing, and he was always wanting to stay home.
Do you think too that maybe because you like to get out, you don't just sit home, you still get out and you're active, that's also attributing to your longevity?
Yes, I think so because if I stay home all day, I got to get in the car and go for a ride somewhere. And once I go for a ride, I might go get an ice cream, I might go get something at the drive-through somewhere. Once I get out and drive somewhere, I'm happy. I used to drive a lot to the cemetery. At one time, I stopped doing that. You know, I'll go by there if I'm going to your Aunt Janelle's house. Her house is not too far from the cemetery.
Yeah.
But I used to go a lot to the cemetery, go visit your dad almost every day.
Yeah.
You know,
So the one thing we haven't talked about is where's God in your life?
God is with my life every day. I never learned like how to read a Bible or nothing because we never had one.
Were
We
your
always
parent you
prayed.
never had a Bible in your
I
house?
never had a Bible. We never had a Bible in the house. But I remember my mom would always pray the rosary. Your grandpa Simon would pray the rosary every day because
Mhm.
that's how he was brought up. And he thought, you know what hurts me so much? That your grandpa was sick and I would take him to church, walk him into the church, leave him there, go home, and then come pick him up before the church was over.
Uh,
You know,
you would never go with them.
I'd go once in a while, but not every Sunday
So
like he
you
wanted to
regret
go.
that.
Yeah, I regret that very much.
Why do you regret that?
I don't know because I felt like, why couldn't I stay there with him? You know,
And just give that homage to the
yeah.
Lord even too, and just to be there by grandpa's side.
I used to hate it, but I would go early and get him, so I could walk him out before the crowd came out and everything. I would do that, but I wouldn't stay there in church with him. Once in a while, I would stay, but not all the time.
So where's God at now in your life? Do you feel like you're closer to him now? Do you feel like you're learning about him now?
I liked going to these classes, that you guys have because everybody expresses their feelings about God and that. But to me, we're always brought up that you say the Our Father at least once because the Our Father is our main prayer. You say the Our Father every day. That's good. I always make sure I at least say the Our Father and 3 Hail Marys. I don't know why. 3 Hail Marys. I always say the Our Father and 3 Hail Marys. And one time I used to do the act of contrition. I don't remember it that much anymore.
The what?
Act of contrition.
What's
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
I'm
Something
not
like
I'm
that.
not familiar with that.
I know. Well, that was a long prayer. I kind of forgotten it.
Mhm.
But sometimes when I'm praying, I go like, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And somewhere there, I change a prayer.
Change it to
I,
what?
I I've forgotten it, so I add something else to it.
Well, you're still praying to God,
Yeah,
right?
I'm still praying to God
You still talk to him every day, right?
every day. Every day that I get up, I thank God for waking me up.
Do you?
Yes, because if God doesn't wake you up, you're not going to wake up.
Mm,
And that's always been my belief. So I thank God every morning for waking me up and giving me the life that He's given me. I
mhm.
thank God every day.
Do you?
I do. I thank Him every day. How else could I be this old, Hita, and still be able to drive myself everywhere, live by myself, cook for myself, everything I could still do. God has been good to me.
Amen, right?
And I thank him because I did something good in my life and God is paying me back. That's how I
Mhm,
feel. He's rewarding me now for all the good that I did all my life.
mm.
If I could not see a lady that didn't have nothing, stay with nothing. I would grab something from my mom's house and go take it to that person if I knew that person really needed it. And there was this one old lady in Avondale. To this day, I still love this woman. She was actually Maxine Soto's grandma. Her name was Annie Sierra. That lady was the best lady I knew in Avondale. For Christmas, Ita, we used to go around saying Miss Christmas, like Halloween, for Halloween, we
Uh-huh.
say trick or treat. No, we used to say Miss Christmas. And they tell us, no, you're not Carol Cheesemas. They would tell us, we don't want any gossip, but they would give us goodie bags, with
Uh-huh.
candy. And then to us, that was the best Christmas ever.
Just a bag of candy.
Yeah,
Man, what a difference from then to now, huh?
yeah. We would have that.
Wow.
And that to me was the best thing because mom couldn't afford to buy us all the
Mhm.
candies. And then our gift from my mom at Christmas was the stocking and those stockings with the see-through holes, an orange, an apple, a banana, and a few peanuts in there and a few hard candies, Christmas candies.
What a
That was at
difference back
Christmas.
then.
We
No.
get gifts.
Yeah,
What
that's
we unwrapped was tamales. Oh,
that's a
no,
good
really.
gift to unwrap. It
That's what
really
we
is.
say. We have our Christmas. We're unwrapping tamales. How many people could get tamales?
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
My aunts. Oh my God, I used to love going to church when I was young. After church, I'd go to my aunt Modesta, my
Mhm.
dad's sister. She always had chicken mole, rice with peas,
She's so
refried
good.
beans,
Oh,
stack of tortillas like that thick.
ah,
And so every Sunday I would go over there. And then my cousin Rafita was there. She'd give us a glass of wine.
man, that sounds
So I would
great.
go to my aunt's house instead of going to my house.
You really cherish your childhood memories, like,
I
a
do.
lot. I can
I
see
do.
that, you
You think the
emulate
younger
that.
generation now cherish their childhood?
I feel like me personally, I don't feel like I remember bits and pieces of my childhood, but, like, the way you remember yours, I don't think I remember mine like that at all.
Me and Joe would go to the fields and cut
It's
alfalfa.
kinda crazy. That's why I was like,
We
wow.
cut alfalfa in the fields across from Highway 50 where we lived to feed our animals, like our pigs and that we had in the back.
Mm,
The pigs he thought were like this big. Oh, look at there's a dime.
yeah,
The,
just leave
the
it. Don't
pigs were
focus on it.
the pigs were like this fat. They Bernie play in the kennel my dad had them in.
Really?
Yes, because he had everything.
And then you would kill them
Hmm.
and eat them.
And my dad would give something to everybody in Avondale.
Oh, that's
He'd
nice.
give them a lot of
So it
more
looks
than
like you learned your generosity from your family, from
yeah.
your parents.
Yeah,
They were
my dad was
generous,
very
so
giving. My mom was stingy because she didn't have nothing growing up, he thought, but my dad was so generous.
so where do you think he learned to be so generous? Not having anything?
I don't know where my dad learned to be he was always generous. You would go see him, my mom
Mhm.
would get so mad. "Oh, can I get you a glass of wine or something?" My mom says, "You don't even let him come in and sit down before you're already offering him wine." That was my dad.
But so your mom, on the other hand, was stingy.
Yeah, because he thought she didn't have nothing growing up. She didn't have a childhood. She was 14 when she got together with my dad. My dad
Mhm.
was 24. Oh,
So
10-year difference.
yeah, that is different because these this day and age,
But my
that would not be okay.
But my grandma and grandpa were so poor. He thought they never had indoor plumbing. I
Mhm.
remember I used to go visit with them. I remember one time me and Joe were sleeping and we couldn't sleep because we smelled feet all night long. I tell Joe, "Do you smell?" He says, "Yes." You know, we
That
suffered because
was
we love our grandpas. I love my grandpas so much.
instead of that, like, you're sitting here saying, "Oh my gosh, you would smell feet," where, like, some of us would be, like, stressed out and stuff like that. It's a memory to you, and it's a cherishable memory.
And
It just gives paints a picture of your mentality, like,
when I
the
felt it,
the humility.
when I did this car, there was a gate open to go to grandma's house,
Mhm.
and her dad, my grandpa's brother, went over there and put a barbed wire across that, knowing that we were playing ball and we would have to go to that.
You think he did it to be hateful?
I think he did. So what happened? I was running after the ball, and I just felt this one thing, and it knocked me back. He thought this whole thing came down. So my grandma had to walk me to the doctor because there's no cars.
Yeah.
So here we walk down this embankment, up the other embankment, all the way
Oh
downtown
my
to the doctor.
gosh.
Me holding something like this on my mouth,
Yeah.
and these guys are like me were passing by. "Oh, Connie has a toothache." I said, "If only knew what's going on with me, they would
Yeah.
be that."
Yeah.
Because I had little boyfriends in Lahaina all the time, and one of them was same Telly Bugarin was one of them, and the other one was Telly Benavidez.
Mhm.
There was 2 Tellys, one was Benavidez, one was Bugarin. I still remember their names, can you
Mhm.
imagine?
No, I
Out of
can't.
11 and 12, you know?
Wow.
I know, I have a good memory, I remember everything.
So if you
Somebody was asking me for somebody's name. Avi, he says, "Connie, do you remember the name of blah, blah?" I says, "Yeah." I told him the name. He says, "Remember that? I can't even remember, and I'm younger than you." I says, "Avi, I have a good brain."
yeah,
I said, "I never did."
I have a good
Bobby
brain.
was a
I
big
have a good
druggie.
brain.
When he was playing in a band, he was a big druggie. And,
Grandma, scratch that.
and my mom,
Scratch that.
oh, that's okay. Oh, no.
Scratch that.
Yeah, scratch that. So
Okay.
anyway,
Anyways.
but anyway, I had to lecture him a lot. And then my mom would take me to his car to go search for weed in that.
Uh-huh.
And I found these little black things. I said, "Mom, I find these little black eggs or something. Little black things." He thought they were like a little,
Oh, I don't know.
maybe like that.
Yeah.
Two of these beats together, little black things. And I said, "That's what we're looking for." I said, "Yes." I said, "I don't know what I'm looking for." So I gave her the bag that was in the
Yeah.
armrest.
Oh, wow. So if you were to give advice to this generation today, what would you tell them?
Never lie to your parents of
Mm,
what's going on in your life because they're the only ones that are going to help you.
mm,
I don't know how many times I had to do that for my kids, especially Ray. I love Ray dearly. When he died, he thought it was like losing part of me,
yeah.
you know,
I bet losing a child is definitely
because
not
he was so generous. He
not
got that
easy.
generous from me. He thought
Yeah.
he used to take kids food to Antonelle, and then because Angie would leave him with no food, and he'd go take them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or they live in a trailer court. And Antonelle said he'd jump in their window on the trailer when they weren't allowed to open their trailer. He'd
Yeah.
jump into the window, but he'd take them food. So Antonelle loves her Uncle Ray. She'll not forget him. And when they were starving, he would always take them something. He always buy them little treats. He'd take them for rides in his truck. I remember one time he borrowed this truck from your dad, your grandpa. He was going to keep it. I said, "Ray, we loan you the truck. And I don't think it's a good idea for you to have the truck. You can't even, you don't have a driver's license or
Yeah.
nothing. We'll get stuff with them,
With the
whatever."
yeah.
But we used to loan it to him once in a while. Well, he had these kids just think wheeling. Antonelle said they were jumping in the back of the truck like little rag dolls.
Just to let them have fun, right? Just to make them
Yes.
have fun.
Ray was
I
like
remember he was a really good dad to the
Ray
girls.
with
He
the
loved his
kids.
girls.
He loved everybody. He
Yeah.
loved Racine and Rachel a lot. And sometimes he wasn't allowed to see them.
He was a good person.
The last time we went to this fundraiser, asked by Nancy and them, she turned her back to me.
Mhm.
I was going to talk to her. Rita. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold hate for nobody. I forgive. I told her it's good to forgive because you know what? If you carry hatred for somebody in your heart, you're not well.
You're not gonna make it to
You're
heaven.
not,
God can't if you can't forgive, God can't forgive you.
And I
And
seem
that's
to
just
love
that's
people.
the
I love people. I
truth.
think I learned it from my dad. My dad loved everybody. They used to call him Judge Parker in Avondale
Mhm.
because he used to, if they wanted a light put in Avondale, because Avondale had no street lights, my dad would call the city council and tell them, hey, this is Leo Solano, Avondale. I want you come and put lights here. Too dark town. Town's so dark. They would come and put lights for him.
Wow.
He would talk to all the damn
What a
crowd.
fun
He would talk to all the people that were in office to
mhm.
see who was going to help us.
We
He
get to
did a
help.
lot of getting lights for Avondale. My
Really?
dad. Yeah.
That's amazing. What is one of the best memories you have with your family, with your kids and with your husband?
I used to love Christmas
Oh, Christmas?
because we'd go to Avondale, to be with
Mhm.
dad and mom, and we'd take our own food because, I didn't expect mom to feed us all.
Yeah.
So we'd take food and everything. There was a lot of happy times there. We'd all go to moms and dads and at Christmas time.
Mm.
They didn't have Christmas presents and that, but we'd have so much fun. We all take food, because we expect
You
mom to
gather
feed
around
us.
food. Food's always the gathering.
And we'd dance in the kitchen. I have a
Oh,
picture of Roy Solano dancing with brother John, in the
yeah.
kitchen. It was a fun time. Christmas was so special because we all walked down moms and we didn't exchange gifts. We just had a good time.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds beautiful.
It was never my mom had a tree, but there was hardly anything under the tree unless we bought something for each other,
Yeah.
and wrapped it up and put it under there.
Wow. You've
I
lived a
remember one
long
time, poor thing, she didn't have money.
oh,
She gave all of us $1 for Christmas.
oh,
And I cherished that dollar for the longest time because I said, it's something my mom gave me, and she gave it to us with all her heart.
yeah, because she didn't have much to
She
give.
didn't have much to give. She
Mhm.
thought she worked like so hard. She worked in the fields and she would pack her lunch. She'd come home and make us dinner, make
Mhm.
us fresh tortillas, even after working all day. And then she washed our clothes in the
Where
washboard.
did she get the energy?
I don't know. She washed our clothes in the washboard, go outside and hang them on the line. Next morning, before she went to bed, before she went to work, to go take all the clothes off, bring them in. I would have to fold them and that, but that was no big deal.
Yeah,
But yeah, my mom was a hard worker. I could never be her.
I think you are. I
I know
think
she
you
worked in
are.
the, I never worked in the fields.
Yeah, but you sound like you've worked hard all your
I
life.
have you done. Everything I've done it with love.
Mhm.
I never complained. Parents, I had to be there for my parents. I didn't care,
Mhm.
do or die.
Yeah.
I would go see my parents every weekend. Sometimes Simon would go with me. Sometimes I take the kids. And then the kids didn't want to go when mom and them were stingy with their house. He said, Mom, we kids not want to go to grandma's. We're going to stay home. You and dad could go, but we're going to stay home.
Mhm.
Cece was older then, so, she could take care of him.
Oh, well, that's
And
good.
then she says, that's why I never had kids because I was always babysitting. Oh my gosh, that's no excuse for you not having kids.
Uh,
No.
I mean, that's just her personal opinion,
Yeah, I
but
know.
that doesn't have to,
But
you
yeah,
know.
I used to, I had to go, I feel bad sometimes, because I would take my mom and dad something and not my in-laws. So then I
Oh,
started feeling bad. So I started giving my mother-in-law money. I would not give it to my father. My father-in-law, when Jenny Duran was dying, my cousin, she says, Connie, I got to tell you something. I says, Juanita, my father-in-law loved you so much because you were the only one that gave him money to buy his wine. He would beg you, and I cannot take that begging. He thought I would give him money without Simon seeing or anything. I'd give him money, like $5.
yeah.
I think he blessed me because nobody else paid attention to him.
Mm.
You know, they all called him a drunk. And who knows why he did that? Nobody knows.
Or what life he lived or
Yeah.
what,
So I was the only one that would give him money. Jenny told me in her dying bed, she says, I had to tell you that my father-in-law loved you a lot because you were the only one that paid attention to him.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
that's the kind of person I've been all my life.
yeah.
I love people.
Well, that's good because that God loves people,
Yeah,
and
I love people. When they ask,
we're meant
when
to
I
have His
see that somebody
Spirit.
needs something, I try to get it for them because it makes me feel better. I don't care if they thank me or not. It's me wanting to do it for them. Even some of the kids on my dad's trip, they'll say, we go somewhere and they say, we don't have no money to buy lunch. Don't worry. I says, it's on me. You know,
When you just get it for
I would
them.
get them each a hamburger or whatever. We would go from one from rooms to the other,
Do you think you're gonna stop doing the dance group
not till I can't walk anymore, probably. You know,
till you can't walk?
uh, I,
Or you still got
I know what I have tissue.
yes.
I know my lips are wet and dry.
Do you need something to drink?
Probably so. What happened to my drink?
I don't know. Here, just drink some of that. It's
Give
tea.
me some water.
It's
Oh,
tea. It's tea. It's good. It's not bad. You can just put it there. Is
that's good.
that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're talking so much. I
My
can't even
nose
get a
is
word in.
my nose is running.
Are you cold?
Oh, my nose run like that. Why? You know,
Yeah.
I think it's the weather.
Oh, the weather. Yeah.
So I never have been mucosa. I see all these ladies always blowing their nose. I says, oh my God, I never have moco.
Yeah.
Till now that I'm older, I've gotten this little leak on my nose.
I think it's just Colorado and allergies. I think
Maybe
it's
so, but
hitting everybody right now.
Yeah, but, my mom and dad my mom was an inspiration to me because she worked so hard all her life, and I always said, "Gee, I'll never be the mom that my mom is," but I think I am,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely, grandma. Everybody gets to be the mom that God meant for them to be, so I would definitely say you're the grandma, the mom that you're meant to be.
You don't know how much I love Antonel's boys, They really need a father figure. They have never had a father figure, and it's sad to say, I'll tell you something later, okay?
Mhm,
I love the boys, they need me in their lives,
mhm,
because I give them love.
mhm.
I told somebody the other day, I says, Maria's kids, they have their dads, they have Juan, they have Renee, they have Maria, but these boys, they need me in their life.
You're like orphans, huh?
Yeah.
God bless them, God bless them.
After we're done. Yeah, I love the boys so much. And they call me every day.
So, in conclusion then, grandma, in your life, you're 87, you're very cognitive, you're very feisty. You've won I don't know how many awards you've won
Yeah.
in your life. You still run a dance group. You've been retired for how many years?
26,
26
maybe
years.
30.
And where did you work?
I work for the government.
You worked for the government.
I worked for
Grandma,
the government 25 years
25 years, worked for the government.
and I've been retired like 30.
I would say you've lived such a blessed life.
I have.
And I'm still trying to find the secret to live longevity like you. I don't know what it is, but I think one thing I can take away, it's probably your giving, your generosity.
Yeah.
I think God blesses those who bless his people, bless others, because we're all God's kids. We're all his children, no matter whether we know
Your
it or
grandpa would
not.
get mad with me sometimes, because I says, "Look, Simon, if I had the money and these kids are hungry, I'm gonna feed them because look at they come and dance and I go take them. I used to go take them out of school at one time.
Mhm.
I used to have to get permission from their parents, but they would allow me to go get the kids out of school so they could go dance with me,
Wow.
And then I would take them back if they still had school time. I would take them back to school, you know. But yeah, I appreciate the parents too because all the parents have been good to me.
You're definitely a leader in the community. Would you say so?
Yes, and I know I am. See, I love people, and
Mhm.
that's been me all my life. Because I said I never want to be like my mom. I'm sorry, because my mom did not like a lot of people, and when she didn't like you, she didn't like you at all.
Mm.
I could never be that way
Mm-mm.
because I have a heart. I like people, especially when they're nice to me. Any little thing they do for me, I feel like I'm blessed.
Very interesting story. I've learned a lot about you today, girl.
I just want people, meet people to be happy with other people, never discriminate because of color. That's one thing that I don't like. And you know what? Little kids do not see the difference on colors. It's for the parents that make them
Mhm.
see the difference, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like little Ricky says, "Grandma, I went on this vacation. Everybody was my color." What a thing for a little boy to say.
Yeah.
And then made me feels like he noticed that.
Yeah.
That everybody there at the reunion that he went with his dad, everybody was the same color.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
He tells these kids that.
he recognized it on his own.
Yeah, he recognized it on his own that he was the same color as all the kids that were at the reunion. He went with his dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For a little, what is he, 4 years old to
Mm.
think of that?
Yep,
He's a smart little boy,
I would say so.
and he's got a little heart.
They all do.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got a little heart. I noticed that.
Man, grandma, what a life you've lived, huh? What a life.
And I'm happy with my life. I'm happy that I thank God every morning, Maria, when I get up
Prayer
because
is important.
I'm still here. My mom died at 85 of an aneurysm.
Mm,
Or else she'd probably still be here.
mhm,
We didn't know she used to get headaches.
mm,
She never told us. I think Bobby was the one that told me, he says, Bobby, how come you never took her to the doctor or nothing? It
mhm,
could have been something, because she'd probably still be here if she wouldn't got that aneurysm.
mhm,
My dad, my dad died of loneliness.
mm,
It was like a year or two after my mom died, he died. But there was nothing wrong with him. I remember going to visit him at the hospital or the nursing home where he was at.
mhm,
And the nurses would put him at the nurse's station at night because he was awake and then have coffee with him and give him donuts or cookies and that. He's like me. He likes sweets a lot.
mhm.
And the nurses say he's the best. They loved him a lot at the nursing home where
Mm.
he died.
Did he, die alone?
I know. I think we were there when he died.
Were you guys there?
I think we were there when he died. Yeah.
Mm.
He was still talking to us, you know.
He was talking to you and then he
Yeah.
just passed?
Yeah. When he was getting real sick, he'll say, like, come here.
Yeah.
And we go there and I hold his hand or whatever. Because my dad had real big fingers. I think
Mhm,
my hands are like dad's.
mhm.
He had real big hands. My mom had little petite hands.
I think I got big fingers too, so no
I
worries. I
always
must
had
get
to
that from you. I must get my big fingers from you. Like, yeah. We're
Yeah,
about the
see,
same
I got
size there.
big hands. These hands are working hands. That's what I
Yeah,
tell the kids. These hands are working hands,
I
you
would
know?
say so too, and maybe that's why my hands are so big.
Yeah, he thought when you do things like, like I'm always like sewing. My God, I sewed for years,
Mhm.
and I was the kind of person, I never had a pattern for a dress. I would look at a dress and say, I remember Gloria when she's going to school, Mom, all the girls are getting new dresses for the prom and this and that. I said, don't worry, I'm going to make yours. And I made it and everybody loved it. Can we have your mom make us? No, she only sews for us. So
Yeah,
I'll never make her when I made her that graduation outfit she wanted because she had seen it somewhere and it cost too much money.
yeah,
It was like satin and I made
uh-huh,
it, remember? And I kinda made it like the picture she had. Yeah,
and it came out
yeah, and
great.
she was happy with it. Yeah,
Oh, grandma,
yeah,
you lived a wonderful life.
uh,
So, I thank you for being on the show and sharing your story with us.
yeah,
It's been inspiring, and now I think the secret to you living is your generosity, you
and the
helping
love of people.
others, loving people. I
Love
mean,
people.
that's a big one. God
Yes.
says, "Love the Lord your God, and then love thy neighbor."
Anybody who touches my life,
So,
I never forget. Like Ollie, him taking care of me this weekend, not being ashamed to be with an old hag like me.
grandma, we love
No, really,
you.
I really appreciate that he just hung on to me and helped me until it says, "Yeah, Ollie was trying to put in his points for you." I says, "Antonio, Ollie loves me. The
Yeah.
boys all love me. Well, everybody loves me,
Mhm,
even your new daughter-in-laws or whatever,
mhm.
because they know the kind of person I am. I'm not a there's a lot of people like me that people don't you want around them.
Yeah.
All they do is bitch and complain about it, this and that.
Grumpy old man, grumpy
Yeah,
old lady.
yeah. They complain about everything. They want you to be there for them. I like I thank God every day that I can take care of myself.
Yes, that's a blessing still at
That I can live on
87.
myself because I'm
Yeah,
happy the way I am. You know,
that's good.
someday if I have to live with somebody, I hope I'm not an old crabby person,
I'll put you in the chicken coop, okay? I always tell you that. I'll just put you in the chicken coop.
Yes, but don't talk about the chicken coop. My grandma used to hide her wine in the chicken's coop.
Oh,
I was
okay.
wondering, why is my grandma, it's my dad's mom, why is my grandma going to a chicken coop? So I followed her one day. Yeah, she had her bottle of wine in the chicken coop so nobody else would drink it.
No?
And my grandpa he used to live in La Junta. My aunt Savannah took care of my grandpa
Mhm,
on his last days, my grandpa Porfirio.
mm.
And he also had a bottle of wine. So what me and Victoria do, we'd crawl on the floor, take a glass, pour a glass, and then go back. What I would do, I would go and big half a cup of wine and then fill a cup
Oh
and
my
still want my
gosh.
share of the girls.
Oh, crazy Connie. Yeah.
I think that way.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I love you, grandma. God bless you, grandma.
Thank you. My life has been excellent. I've accomplished a lot in my life. I'm proud of
Mhm,
myself.
mhm.
I always be proud of yourself when you accomplish something,
Yeah,
because you know what? If nobody praises you, praise yourself because you know you did something great and you're proud of it. That's the way I feel. If people want to praise me, fine. If they don't, I know I did my best,
yeah.
and that's all.
I think that's called self-love.
And I think everybody should be nicer to everybody because, life is too short, especially relatives. He thought relatives should be close and bind.
There
I
shouldn't
used
be
to love it.
no
I used to love Christmases
hate
because
and
we
all
all get
that.
together,
Yeah,
you know, and we dance around the kitchen table because, mom's house was all
yeah.
so crowded. We dance around the kitchen table and we'd have a lot of fun. We didn't exchange gifts, but we'd have tamales or whatever, and we were happy.
Yep,
We were
that's the key
happy.
there, happiness.
Gifts and gift from my mom was like I said, a sock with a potato with apple and orange and
Mhm.
hard candy and peanuts in there, and we're happy.
That's the key right there is happiness.
Okay.
Happiness is not what you get, it's what you give.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. You ought to be in movie.